many people who don't retire their credit card balances in full actually make payments that are very close to the minimum payment due amount, or sometimes exactly equal to the minimum payment due amount. Now, some of you might think maybe it's lack of financial education. Maybe people don't fully appreciate that by not paying their credit card balances in full, they're accruing interest, which becomes part of their outstanding balance. And as a result, they become indebted for a long period of time. Or some of you might be thinking, well, maybe it's liquidity problems. Maybe people just don't have the money and they're making the minimum payments. But it turns out that there are also behavioral reasons for why people do this. One of the reasons why people make minimum payments is because that minimum payment due amount is a salient piece of information on the credit card statements. It is something that stands out, is very vividly displayed on credit card statements, and we tend to anchor our payments to that salient piece of information. There is a large body of literature in finance and in economics which shows that salience, or how vividly some information is displayed or presented to us, has an impact on how we make certain economic and financial decisions. Specifically, people tend to overweigh salient information and underweigh information that is not as salient, even though that might be equally and sometimes even more important than the salient information. In this particular study, the researchers actually did something interesting. They looked at a credit card company that changed the formula that it was using to calculate the minimum payment due amount, so that on a given balance, that minimum payment due amount actually increased. And what they found, people started to make payments closer to that new higher minimum payment due amount, which basically suggests that these individuals were not really having liquidity problems. It's just that they are anchoring their payments to that salient piece of information on the credit card statement. This research further showed that when the Cards Act came along and required these credit card companies to disclose more information about the consumer's credit card balances, that these consumers started to make higher payments towards their credit card balances. So the main reason why I'm sharing this information with you is because keep in mind that when you are making important economic or financial decisions, we tend to overweigh salient information and underweigh non-salient information, sometimes to our disadvantage. So every time you're thinking about making a credit card payment or refinancing a mortgage, know that some information might be more salient than others, and it is on you to think about all the important costs and benefits before you make a sound financial decision.